Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live video. So I do believe that Manchester United have rejuvenated themselves recently, reflecting on the last four results, they have been very positive. And I think, regarding the last four results, you could arguably say, they have saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Manchester United, because obviously, reflecting back before the Liverpool game, Solskjaer was under intense pressure at the football club. But, I've got to say, I've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for the last four games, and I think there's also been a variety of changes. We seem to be scoring more goals recently. Also, won our last three away from home. If we do beat Bournemouth today, that will be four wins on the trot away from home, which obviously, will be very good. I think quite a lot of players have stepped up to the plate. But yeah, I've got to credit him for the last four games, and we have showed a lot of tactical flexibility. But for my own perception, I do believe where we look better where with three at the back, and probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will go with three at the back today. Maybe I might be wrong. Solskjaer may revert back to the 4-2-3-1 formation, because we do know for the majority of this season anyway that he has been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation, but we do know mainly now it hasn't been working. Yeah, so it's very essential anyway, that Manchester United do win the game today against Bournemouth. Obviously, we've got to keep this good run of form up, because, we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 3 decades. I don't know, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is the long-term future for Manchester United, but I definitely would keep him at least for this season, and give him at least a couple more windows to see who else, he can recommend in to the football club, because you can still quite frankly say Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. There's some aspects of me that credit Solskjaer. I've got some element of concerns about him. I credit him with the free signs he did recommend into the club during the summer. They've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Manchester United careers. Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire. He's also got a lot of trustworthy these young upcoming players, because a lot of the young upcoming players have been given their chances this season. Don't get me wrong, I think, maybe we need to orchestrate on loaning some of the young upcoming players out in January, because I don't think all of them are going to become a fruition at Manchester United. I can definitely show the likes of Mason Greenwood, Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams has played 3 games this season. He's done really well. And I think these are the vast majority of Manchester United fans now do believe that he's probably a better solution than Luke Shaw, despite that Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. But obviously Luke Shaw's out with injury. He's been out since, the 2-1 home defeat to Crystal Palace. And I think Alex Tuanzebe, will do really well for the football club. Without a shadow of a doubt. And I think also, Mason Greenwood will also, become a success. But like I said, there's a lot of young players in the squad, that are developing and trying to improve. And yeah, and I think also Solskjaer has got a lot of honesty about him, because for the vast majority of this season, he has been aware of what's been going on. And, we haven't been performing, we haven't been, the results obviously, haven't been good enough, nowhere near to our standards. But reflecting on the last 4 games, I think it seems to me that Man United have turned a corner, and Solskjaer's perception is that he thinks Man United are heading into the right direction. Obviously, that 2-1 win against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. But what I've seen in the last 4 games, replicates, what I saw, in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. So it does replicate that. But we've just got to continue, this good run form. There's still some improvements needed in that. We still need to, create more chances. Obviously, that's an element of concern at the moment. And maybe you could arguably say there's games this season where Man United have actually, dominated periods of games, and, we've created quite a lot of chances, but we just haven't been ruthless enough in front of goal. And in that aspect, that does actually, replicate last season, because last season, we created a lot of chances in a lot of games, but, we just wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. But Man United have definitely, got to start scoring more goals. We do know that, obviously, there's still deficiencies that do there's still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. Obviously, I think we're orchestrating on making 4 new signings next year. I think we need to bring a striker in next year. Obviously, well, Solskjaer, I think, is orchestrating on bringing 2 forwards in, but we need to recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, because I do believe, following their dismissals, I think Man United look very exposed in that attacking line, and look very, very exposed in that attacking line. And we need someone to come in who can assure Man United goals, and someone who can be more effective in the box, and someone who can create chances, definitely. We need a midfielder. A lot of people believe that Man United do need 2 central midfielders. We definitely need to recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera, because, we are missing creative impetus in that midfield. But that attacking area and that midfield is 2 of the priority areas where Manchester United do need to strengthen up, without a shadow of a doubt. But I think Solskjaer's been assured, that he will be given money to spend next year, and I think probably the club are orchestrating on, probably spending 250 to 300 million pounds, on players next year, because still a massive rebuild is needed at the football club, as you all know. But yeah, I've been very, very impressed recently, like I mentioned, a very, very good game against Chelsea, in the Carabao Cup, winning by 2 goals to 1. There was Man United showed dominance, periods of dominance in that game. Like I mentioned, I thought some aspects of the game, replicated, the game at the start of the season, when we beat Chelsea by 4 goals to 0. Chelsea actually, weren't bad. They had periods of dominance, they pressed high at the pitch, they played some expansive football and that. They actually did well in the second half, but I thought we did really, really well in the first half. Rashford, scored 2 goals for Manchester United against Chelsea. And then I've criticised Marcus Rashford lately. I've criticised Rashford a lot lately. Well, I've criticised him for the majority of this season, but I've got to be honest, recently, he has done really, really well as Rashford. And even when he was in that bad run of form, I still said, he was the long-term solution for Manchester United. And I think, Solskjaer has credited him recently, with his good performance he's put out. Rashford now has scored 52 goals for the football club since he broke into the senior squad in 2016. But so far, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. But yeah, credit him. I credit him because he's done really, really well recently. But when he's on form, he can get them runs in behind. He seems to have that finishing asset. So very well done to him. But we've now beaten Chelsea 3 times this year. We've beaten them the last 2 times at Stamford Bridge. But overall, we've got an abysmal record at Stamford Bridge, and it's good that Solskjaer has overcome Frank Lampard twice. But look, that's really, really good. I think, there's been, I think, as well, this has played a part in it, since Martial's recovered from injury as well, we've been very, very good. And Martial, has regained form, since he's recovered from injury. He's already scored 2 goals. And, we know that, Anthony Martial adds inspiration in that attacking third of the pitch. He's really, really good. He's been given that number 9 shirt. He'd been given that number 9 shirt at the start of the season. But, if Martial can now avoid sustaining any more injuries and he can keep fully fit, I think he can score a lot of goals this season for Manchester United. He is only 23 years of age. And Martial and Rashford, obviously, can both play in the same positions, and, they are compatible in that aspect, where they are compatible. I think they've also scored the same amount of goals. Also Martial is on 52 goals, I think, for Manchester United. Martial now is into his 5th season as a Manchester United player. He's had bad spells as a Man United player in that, but I think this season, in the games he's played, he has done really, really well. So. I do credit him for that. I think also Scott McTominay's also been fantastic for Manchester United. I've been very, very impressed with him. And he has been a first team regular this season, but McTominay has deserved to keep his place in the team. Let's be honest, he isn't a world class midfielder. But yeah, these question marks around him, can he keep the consistency up? And I don't know if he can do this and that, but he has deserved to keep his place in the team. My perception on Fred and Andries Pereira, that I think, Pereira's developed in the last couple of games, like Solskjaer mentioned before. Solskjaer confirmed earlier on in the week that Fred, will take Paul Pogba's position for a while. But he said, that Solskjaer did say that Fred and Pereira are two important players for Man United. Solskjaer obviously, confirmed that Paul Pogba is out until December, sorry. So he's out for at least another month with an ankle injury, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed the extent of the injury. And obviously, Paul Pogba, is a big miss. And to be honest, we've actually seen to play better without Paul Pogba. But he's missed, I think, 9 of the last 11 games. With this ongoing ankle injury. Solskjaer did say there may be a slight chance that he could be back for the Sheffield United game after the international break, but it's very, very unlikely. So we won't see him in action until December. My perception on Fred is probably, the same as McTominay's. I think Fred stepped up to the plate, in the last couple of games. I think, McTominay's comparison to the likes of Fred and Pereira, like what I mean is, he's a different type of player. But Fred, he's done well in the last couple of games. He's blended in alongside McTominay and our midfielder really, really well. And, I do agree on the aspect, that Manchester United did overpay for Fred. We paid, just under £50 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk last summer. But I think Man United definitely still needs to give him more time at the football club. He has been here since last summer, and he hasn't performed to the standards as we should expect for him. Especially, what we paid for him. He hasn't performed. So at Man United, he hasn't replicated, what he did do with Shakhtar Donetsk. But like I mentioned, give him more time at the football club. So there has been a lot of players, that have stepped up to the plate. Don't forget, Man United have had a lot of injuries this season, so that means obviously anywhere Solskjaer has had to make alterations in the squad, and we've still got some players out with injury now. As I did give you my Bournemouth Man United preview, was it yesterday or was it the day before? I've obviously I've give you some. I'll give you an update on some team news and that. Solskjaer has reportedly confirmed that Marcus Rashford, Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof are all injured out for the game today. As obviously all 3 players had sustained knocks in the 2-1 win against Chelsea. So that is some bad team news. Solskjaer did say in his press conference that they had some treatment yesterday, I think. They had some more. They've had some treatment in the last couple of days. This is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. This is what Solskjaer now has confirmed that has had some treatment in the last couple of days. He also confirmed that, Matic, Luke Shaw and Alex Tuanzebe, will not be playing in this game. Matic has got a minor problem. Luke Shaw's obviously still out with a hamstring injury, but Solskjaer did recently reveal that he's not far away from returning to the squad. And Alex Tuanzebe has been out with a hip injury. So I think he said, they should be back there after the international break. Diego Dalot, I think it's unknown when he will be back in contention. Don't forget, he's our second choice right back is Diego Dalot. But again, I would give him more time at the football club. He's only, been here since last summer. Lingard's recently recovered from injury, not too long ago, and I think he's definitely, one of the players that does need to step up to the plate, because I think he's enjoyed a really difficult time this season. With Lingard, I still say it's a long-term solution for Man United, but reflecting on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. So yeah, I think he'll make about 3 or 4 changes today in the game against Bournemouth, from the win against Chelsea. Yeah, that's what I think, Solskjaer now will currently do. But Solskjaer come out with quite a few interesting stuff, throughout his press conference, and he interpreted, some of the stuff he mentioned in that. Obviously he's been impressed, with last four results. Obviously he said it was a very, very good point against Liverpool. We're the only team this season, to take anything, from Liverpool in the league. It was a very, very good performance, and it was a shame that we didn't win the game. Solskjaer, obviously, give his overarching view on the Partizan Belgrade game. It wasn't the best of performances, against Partizan Belgrade, but Manchester United still got the win. I think, the Norwich game is probably, the best performance of the season so far. Very, very good win, very, very good win, won by 3 goals to 1. But yeah, it's the best performance of the season so far, from my perception, is the win against Norwich. Solskjaer was very delighted with that. And I thought, we did quite well in the Chelsea game. So also the performances have improved recently. But, there's still at some aspects of our game, that we definitely need to improve in that. He also praised Bournemouth, during his press conference as well. He knows how much of a difficult game this is going to be. Bournemouth, defensively are good. What I mean is, they don't really leak a lot of goals. Solskjaer said they've got some good attackers. They've got obviously Callum Wilson, Joshua King, Ryan Fraser. He says them caliber players, are good. I think they are good. And I think I'd recommend any of them players into Manchester United, but they can get good runs in behind. They are very direct, as Solskjaer was saying. But I think it should be Manchester United win. Bournemouth have drawn 3 of their last 4 games. Obviously, Eddie Howe, though, has actually spent the majority of his managerial career with Bournemouth. He's been there several years now. I think he had a spell at Burnley when he was younger. He also spent the majority of his playing career with Bournemouth. Did Eddie Howe, and Eddie Howe's also, give his overarching view on, Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he actually believes that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is trying to build a new Man United, and he's actually said that, Solskjaer's handled the pressure, really, really well. This is coming from Eddie Howe, so in that aspect, I do credit him, for what he said. But, I think the only occasion that Bournemouth, beat Man United was back in 2015. This is when I think Bournemouth first came up to the Premier League. They did beat us by 2 goals to 1, but since then, we've mainly beat them. We did the double over them last season. Beat them 4-1. Beat them 2-1 and 2-1 at the Vitality Stadium. But I'm really, really looking forward to the game. It's only a couple of hours away from kickoff, because don't forget it is half past 12 kickoff. But like it confirmed, Rashford, Maguire and Lindelof, I think have endured a late fitness test, to see if any of them can be available, because they are 3 imperative players definitely. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice centre backs are Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, and I think they've blended in very, very well in our back line for this season. Lindelof's had a couple of bad games, but I think prior to that, he has mainly done well. But I have mainly been currently impressed with him in that. But so we are now sitting 7th in the league. Obviously, we are 7 points behind top 4. We're 7 points behind Chelsea from top 4. If we can beat Bournemouth today, we will go 4 points behind Chelsea. I said if we hadn't beaten Norwich in our last league game, then I probably would have fully disregarded the top 4. But I think it's very imperative that Manchester United get into that top 4. I don't think we're going to get in the top 4. I think this season we may finish 6th or 7th, but it would be a good thing if we got the top 4 this season, because then it would create a platform and it would give something for Manchester United to build on. I want to get in the top 4 anyway, so we can get back into the Champions League. And I think that was one of the reasons that why we didn't have a competitive summer transfer window, because obviously if you're not in Champions League football, then it's going to be harder to attract players to the elite level. But yeah, we are now currently sitting 7th in the league. But I said, this season that our expectations, will be to finish in that top four. Solskjaer is aware of the expectations. He's got to exceed Man United. But despite the three signings that we recommended in during the summer, I still knew this season that Man United, wouldn't win the league. I knew we wouldn't mount any kind of title challenge up, because obviously, analysing our squad at the moment, it isn't good enough to win the current league. But I think it's definitely, good enough for a top four finish. I think without a shadow of a doubt. But obviously, I've blamed everything. I've blamed everybody, this season, for the lack of consistency in that. I think, in some aspects, Solskjaer's accountable for some of our bad performances. I think, also a lot of the blame tends to be made Woodward, because he's been a liability for several years. I think also for the majority of this season, a lot of blame stems from a lot of the players. And I think, the board are to blame. I think actually, the vast majority of the blame does stem from the board, because the board have been a liability for several years, their poor recruitment and their poor selection of managers. And I think the board do need to assure structural changes at the football club. And, the board didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough, during the course of the summer, as they did actually Shaw. But I think, everyone is to blame. But I think now momentum is building the club anywhere, and I think more confidence is in the players, as I have seen in the last 4 games. So hopefully, we can continue this against Bournemouth today. Well, I'm hopefully, that we can anywhere. But yeah, definitely, give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, more time at the club. He's only been at Man United overall now for around 10 months. So he's been at the football club, just under a year. Obviously, he's been permanent manager now for, I think, around 8 months now. He's been the permanent manager of Man United. Obviously, for the vast majority of this 8-month period, he has mainly endured a difficult time. But like I mentioned, and reflecting what I've seen in the last 4 games, replicates what I saw whilst he was the interim manager, because he did really, really well when he was the interim manager. Solskjaer in that 3-month period. The results were good. The performances were good. He exceeded expectations, and he got the best out of these group of players. And he won his first 8 games. He won 14 out of 19 in total. And he got given the job. Back in March. Obviously, he's on a 3-year contract. I think Man United have made several mistakes. Made quite a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. But I think one of the mistakes was, giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job, because I do believe the club gave him the job too early. I think we should have waited until the end of last season. We should have waited at some point until this season, to decide or not, whether to give him the job. But yeah, that was definitely one mistake from Manchester United. But yeah, and like I said, reflect on the last 4 results. My perception still hasn't, really changed on Solskjaer. I still don't believe he's a long-term future for Man United. He insists he's, still the right manager for Manchester United, because, he hasn't really got that managerial experience. He hasn't really got any intuition on how to manage a big football club like Manchester United, despite that, he knows the traditions of the football club. Obviously, before he was at Man United, he was at Molde. He won a couple of Norwegian titles at Molde. Obviously, before he was at Molde, he had a really short tenure with Cardiff. I think he only managed around 29-30 games for Cardiff, and then obviously ended up getting sacked, because obviously he ended up getting them relegated. And obviously my element of concern for the majority of this season has been his tactics, because I will admit, for the vast majority of this season, Man United have been very tactically inept, but it's been totally comparison to that in the last 4 games. We have showed a lot of personnel, which is obviously very, very good. But I hope his tenure can become successful at Manchester United. Solskjaer, obviously, is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. And like I did take into account, we haven't really, got the structure in that to keep sacking managers, despite the fact that 3 have already gone since the Ferguson era. Obviously, Moyes left them after 10 months. Moyes had the shortest tenure with the football club. He had the shortest tenure with the football club since the Ferguson era. That was one mistake Ferguson made, and it was the only mistake he made, was recommending David Moyes in. Then obviously after Moyes, we saw obviously Louis van Gaal coming in. He lasted he lasted around a year and a half. he got sacked despite the fact we won the FA Cup under, the Louis van Gaal era. And obviously, under Jose Mourinho, he won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season, but obviously, got sacked after 2.5 years. So he had a pretty long tenure with Man United. He's actually the longest serving manager we've had, since the Ferguson era. But yeah, so the Manchester United will not sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anyway. It probably will cost the club quite a bit of money, if it was obviously to sack him and that. Probably would cost a lot less. It probably cost less, than what we paid, to get rid of Jose Mourinho. So we'd probably have to pay less in compensation. But I think Solskjaer, I don't know if he'd be here for the long term, but I think he will stay at Manchester United at least for this season. Obviously, as you all know as well, Ryan Giggs, came out and he has urged Ed Woodward, to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least 6 new signings, because I believe we need at least 5 to 6 new signings if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club. So yeah, I definitely do believe it. Solskjaer's also recently come out and urged Martial to become obsessed with scoring goals. He obviously wants his maturity to grow, which is obviously very very good. But we have got on a really really good squad. Manchester United have spent a hell of a lot of money, taking into account in the last 6 or 7 years. I think around 7 or 800 million pounds has been spent with the football club. In all the managerial areas since the Ferguson era, and that's just under £1 billion, and that's not taking into account what we spent under Alex Ferguson, because under the Alex Ferguson era, we bossed the transfer markets. He controlled the transfer policies, he controlled a lot of the contracts, he also developed a lot of young players. He also developed a lot of young players. And I did say, I hope now this team at this day and age, can replicate, what the team did under Alex Ferguson. There's actually still speaking a couple of players here from the Alex Ferguson era. But I want us to get back, to how we was under Alex Ferguson, and I don't think we'll ever will be. I don't think we'll ever, in terms of what we achieved under Ferguson, I don't think we'll ever do that. Or at least, if we do, it won't be for a very, very long time. But, now this is a different era, like I do keep mentioning. We're no longer under the Ferguson era. We haven't been under the Ferguson era for nearly 7 years. These are different groups and different players that Man United are building. The good thing is as well that, we have got a rarity stature, obviously, using a lot of the young players, a lot of teams, don't use this stature, to be quite fair. That's another thing I do credit Man United for. But yeah, not every manager, settles in, straight away. Look at Alex Ferguson, he, didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club when we recommended him in from Aberdeen back in 1984. And look what he accomplished after that 4 years. We had 20 odd years of success under him. He ended up winning 38 trophies with the football club. Did Alex Ferguson. But yeah, so I would definitely give Solskjaer more time at the football club because he deserves more time. More time at Manchester United, and Solskjaer had worked out his policy during the summer, and obviously he wanted to recruit young British players, basically, and I think he's still keen on continuing the same policy next year and that. But yeah, I think Man United are orchestrating on spending another substantial amount of money. I do also believe next year we need to focus more on the outgoings because I still believe that despite the fact that a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, I still believe there is more problematic players at the football club that do need to be moved on. Definitely, I think another 4 or 5 players, probably need to go. I've already told you the players that I think need to be moved on next year. Young needs to be moved on because Ashley Young's past his sell-by date. Obviously, reflect on his age, because Young is obviously now 34, but I think he's 35 next year. Ashley Young has been a long-serving player at the football club. He's been here 8 years. He's now into his 9th season as a Man United player. Another mistake from the football club as well was obviously giving him that new 1-year extension last season. But yeah, I think he needs to be moved on. Also too. I think Phil Jones needs to be moved on there next year because I think he's no longer good enough to represent the football club. We can cash in for Jones next year, by the way, because he signed a new long-term contract last season. Jones has been here more or less the same amount of time, as Ashley Young. Jones is now into his 9th season as a Manchester United player. I think he's made over 300 appearances for the football club in all competitions, just like Young has. But he needs to be moved on. I'm surprised he didn't go during the summer. But the likes of Jones and Rojo and that, they'll get their chance in the Carabao Cup and the Europa League games. But obviously, they won't get their they're not going to get really much chance in the league, are they? Rojo, we have seen glimpses, of how good, Rojo can be. He has sustained quite a few injuries as a Man United player, not to the same extent as Luke Shaw and Eric Bailly, but he's sustained still quite a few injuries, and his versatility is very, very good, his Rojo's, because he's versatile. Don't forget, during the summer, he was subjected to intense transfer speculation. Obviously, Everton had inquired about getting him on deadline day, don't forget. But I think he's one of the players we need to consider getting rid of. He's got just under 2 years left on his contract. But we have still got a lot of centre-backs in the team. We've still got 6 centre-backs in the team, even with Smalling, now on loan to Roma. Matic is definitely one of the problematic players. I think Matic definitely needs to go next year because he's too inconsistent, isn't he, Nemanja Matic? He's too easily predictable. He's too slow. He makes that midfielder look totally imbalanced. And he's now 31 years of age, so Matic isn't getting any younger. He's now into his 3rd season as a Manchester United player. And I will agree again on the aspects that, Man United did overpay for Matic. We paid around £40 million from Chelsea, back under the Jose Mourinho era. But at the time we got, Matic, obviously, he wasn't our first choice signing. I think he was like our 3rd choice signing was Matic. But yeah, he's another player we need to get rid of. I was reading reports the other week saying it actually said that Inter Milan were interested, in the Nemanja Matic. So yeah, another 4 or 5 players, definitely need to go next year. My perception on Eric Bailly, I think reflecting on the amount of injuries sustained, I think it will be beneficial for Man United to offload him next year again or at some point in the future. But Eric Bailly is actually a very, very imperative player because when he plays, he shows great potential. He shows that ability to play out from the back. He's now into his 4th season as a Manchester United player. He's Eric Bailly, but I think with the amount of injuries he's sustained, it's had a really bad effect on his Man United career. It's had a really bad effect on his career, and don't forget Eric Bailly's out now with an knee injury. He's out until the end of the year. But some Man United fans, despite his injuries, still would like him to stay at the football club. To be quite honest with you. Yeah. So there's a lot of players on our agenda, who we could go in for next year, because I have been, giving you the latest news on the transfers, quite recently, because it is now only a couple of months until the January transfer window, does open. Like I said, I think we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business next summer. We'll look to get 1 or 2 players in January. Then, we'll look to get, more signings in next summer. So I think it's looking very, very probable, according to a lot of reports last week, the other week, not too long ago though, that Man United are expected to sign Mario Mandzukic in January. Don't forget, it confirmed the other week that Mario Mandzukic has slashed his wage demands from $300,000 a week to $150,000 a week. So he slashed his wage demands in half, basically, in order to make the move to Man United. Mario Mandzukic is obviously no service to requirements at Juventus, because as far as I'm aware, since the recommendation of Maurizio Sarri, Mario Mandzukic has not played a single minute under Maurizio Sarri's guidance. But yeah, I think it's very, very probably he's coming in. Probably he's coming in. So Mario Mandzukic will be our 4th signing under the Solskjaer era overall, and our first signing we're probably going to make in January. He is a good adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, he's not a long-term replacement for Lukaku. The only element of concern I've got about has been in Mario Mandzukic is that he's 33 years of age, and you could probably say he's got a couple of years left in his footballing career. But the good thing is he can show the likes of Daniel James, Anthony Martial and Rashford how to be more effective in the the box. He scored 44 goals in 162 games for Juventus in all competitions. He's now into his 5th season as a Juventus player, so he has been a long-serving player there, and he's under contract with them until 2021. I think Man United, according to what I saw weeks ago, we're prepared to give him around an 18-month contract. We're obviously not going to give him a long-term contract because obviously he's 33 years of age. But we did actually inquire about getting Mandzukic towards the back end of the summer transfer window. Obviously, we didn't get him though. Obviously, there's Moussa Dembele on our agenda, don't forget. If we had to go in for Moussa Dembele next year, we are aware that he will cost the club a substantial amount of money. We'll probably have to pay in the excess of around 60 or 70 million pounds to him. I think we inquired about Moussa Dembele, during the summer, so we was tentatively linked to him. So what I mean in that aspect is that, he wasn't one of my main priority targets. But I'd love Moussa Dembele. I think he would be very, very reliable, to assure Man United goals. He's obviously an out-and-out number 9. He's a player that, can create chances. He's into his second season with Lyon. He did well last season in his debut season there with Lyon. I think he scored around 20 goals. Lyon did pay around £20 million for him from Celtic last summer. Around £20 million. Signed a 5-year contract with Lyon. He's still got around 3.5-4 years left in his current contract with Lyon. He's under contract with them until 2023. And also the beneficial thing is as well that he's played in the Premier League, because when he was younger he played for Fulham. He actually began his senior career with Fulham. But he's 23. I think he only turned 23 years of age, not too long ago. So he's definitely another player on Man United's agenda. Obviously, recently, there was a lot of talks about Erling Haaland. He's another player on Manchester United's agenda. And I think, even though I don't know much about this player, I think it would be beneficial, for Manchester United to recommend him in. Because obviously, he's played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance already, during his short period with Mould, and probably, Solskjaer is keen on reuniting with the player. He now currently plays for Erling Haaland. He currently plays for Red Bull Salzburg, and I don't think he's been there, quite too long. But I think since his arrival, he's scored goals, he's created good chances in that, and he's actually, quite a good player. And I think he's only 19 years of age. Is Erling Haaland. But I think, he said that Napoli were in for him at one point. But I think, from Napoli's perspective now, they expect Man United to complete the signing of Erling Haaland in January, because Napoli have obviously pulled out of the race. So he's another player, Man United could recommend him in January. Not too sure how much, he would cost a football club. I presume it would have been a substantial amount. But yeah, so a lot of attackers are currently on our agenda. Obviously James Maddison is one of the players on our current agenda. I would definitely love him at Manchester United. James Maddison, proven now in the Premier League. He did well in his debut season with Leicester last season. He actually created more chances than any other player in the Premier League, last season. And what he did last season with Leicester so far this season is replicating, what he did last season. So very, very good player. Only 22 years of age. I'm probably aware that, he's going to cost Man United a substantial amount of money. We'll probably have to pay around 60 or 70 million pounds to recommend him in. Don't forget, we did business with Leicester during the summer, because obviously, we got the pursuit of Harry Maguire. We paid them around 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. Obviously, he's the most expensive defender in the world, and I will agree again, we did overpay for him, but I do believe he has... You could say he has addressed our defensive deficiencies, but we had to pay 80 million because Leicester didn't really want to lose Harry Maguire. But we'll have to pay this similar sort of figure, if we want to get James Maddison. I think, he's still got 4 years left on his current contract with Leicester. But I think, quite a few teams have been in for him. Leicester paid, was it just around £20 million from Norwich last summer. There was also quite a few teams tracking James Maddison when he was a teenager at Coventry, because he was actually, a product of their academy. But James Maddison would definitely, add depth in our midfield. He'd bring that creativeness in that midfield. And, I'd love him to come in. We've probably seen him as an adequate replacement for Pogba, because I still believe that Paul Pogba still wants out of Manchester United, next year, whether it's January or next summer, because I still believe his preference is to make a move to Real Madrid. But regardless of what happens with Pogba anywhere, we still need to bring at least one midfielder, maybe even two. But yeah, there is a lot of players on our current agenda. Regarding the director of football, we do need a new director of football from my own perception. Because during the summer, we was in search for a new director of football, and there was quite a few, former Manchester United players linked to that director's role. You obviously linked to that role, and I did actually say that that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club is getting a new director of football in. Obviously there was talks about Edwin van der Sar the other week, but I did say it would be very beneficial to recommend someone who knows the traditions of the club, someone who obviously has got that experience, and someone who would be reliable to oversee our transfer business. Because I don't think Ed Woodward is reliable enough, to oversee our transfer business and that. So we'll probably look to get one in at some point in the future. But I think Van der Sar did indicate out at some point in his future, he would like to return to the football club, which is obviously really, really good. But yeah, we'll be back on later for my match reaction after the Bournemouth Man United game. I will give you my match reaction on that, as we always do on this channel. So it should be a win for Manchester United today, like I mentioned, and we will see what happens. We will see what happens in that, and Solskjaer will definitely be staying at Manchester United at least for this season. So win this game today against Bournemouth. It's the fourth win on the trot away from home. 4 away wins on the trot, which is very, very good. It's good now that our away form is improving. Also our 4th win overall in the league this season. But yeah, it's a game Man United have definitely now got to win. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. Do consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you guys all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.